All right, the invocation tonight will be given by Councilman Bugera.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you as always for allowing us to gather here this evening. We ask that you please continue to watch over our community and keep our citizens safe. Please remind us that we are your servants with the responsibility to serve the common good of all and not our own self-interest. Allow us to put politics and petty differences aside to do what is best for our citizens. Continue to grant us the wisdom and courage to know and to do what is right, good, and true. In your name, Heavenly Father, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As you can all see, we don't have a clerk of council tonight, so I'm going to pull double duty, and I hope you'll all bear with me since this is my first time up here, that I'm also going to be the clerk of council, but I think I'm comfortable enough with the order of business and how we do things. So I'm going to go ahead and call the roll. Mr. Bugera.
Here.
Ms. Cherry. Mr. Edwards.
Here.
Ms. Kiko.
Here.
Ms. King.
Here.
Mr. Lonis.
Here.
Mr. Mastriano.
Here.
Is there a motion to excuse Councilwoman Cherry? Member Kiko, second. Mr. Mastriani, all in favor?
Roll call.
Roll call. All right. Bugera.
Yes.
Cherry. Edwards.
Yes.
Kiko.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Lonis.
Yes.
Mastriani.
Yes.
I gotta keep notes too, so again, bear with me. All right, you should have all received by electronic distribution the minutes of the August 3rd, 2026 regular meeting of Alliance City Council. Assuming you have in fact received them, are there any additions, corrections, or amendments to those minutes as presented? Hearing none, the minutes will be filed. Moving to communications, we have the items listed in the order of business. There are 3. There are no additions to those. Assuming no one has additions to those, correct? Okay, administrative reports. And I did reconfigure the room a little bit.
Do we have to approve? We usually do.
Approved.
Approve communication. We don't have to.
I don't think, if there's nothing additional, I don't believe so.
Okay.
But for the sake of abundance of caution, is there a motion to receive the communications listed in the order of business?
So moved.
Moved by Edwards, is there a second? Seconded by Bugera. I'll call the roll. Bugera.
Yes.
Cherry. Edwards.
Yes.
Kiko.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Lonis.
Yes.
Mastriano.
Yes.
Okay, all of the communications listed in the order of business will be received and filed along with the minutes. Now administrative reports, and we're going to have the administrative reports from the podium. When it's time for public speaks, we'll just shift a microphone so that public speaks are still into a microphone, but everybody can hear our administrators a little better.
Thank you, Madam President. And welcome, City Council, and welcome, citizens of Alliance. We're glad you're here this evening. Of course, the first item on my agenda is to welcome our Madam President, Ms. Julie Giacomides, as our City Council President. Julie brings an extensive government experience with being elected 4 terms as our council at large, and her commitment and strengthening of quality services to the citizens of Alliance with a genuine desire to make government work better for the people. Ms. Giacomides, we welcome you and welcome to the team, our council team. My next item I have on the agenda, ribbon cutting. We've had a lot of new continued economic developments happening in the city, and of course with that comes prosperity as well. This past week we had Dudley's Italian Restaurant and Catering downtown, Fizzy Company, it's a fresh fruit beverage operation up on State Street right next to Hibachi Grill, and Brass Duck over the weekend downtown, gift shop, and the West Banco Bank up on State Street, the former Huntington Bank. Also, they'll have a ribbon cutting this Thursday. Of course, the Caboose Amphitheater, Enviroscapes did the work on that, getting ready to open up for that this coming weekend here event. Plus, my next item, I want to remind everybody the Martin Luther King Parade and all the festivities that go along with it this Saturday, August 22nd. At 9 a.m., the parade starts, so everybody come join. It's a wonderful event that we have here in our city. My fourth item with council here tonight, you're going to consider Resolution 5526. And I want to provide just a little clarity and reinforce some of the facts that we've discussed over the last 5.5 months. Every contract that has come before you, whether approved or rejected, has been negotiated in good faith and has followed a pattern of consistency. We have adhered to the established tier increases. Top tier was 4%, 2% for the regular contract, 6% for 2026, 3% for 27, 3% for 28. Any perceived deviations in increased percentages are not changes to these base structures, but rather reflected additional stipends that are routinely included in contract compensation, which has gone on for many years. The stipends over the years, you've heard a lot of them. The license fees, the vehicle, fuel allowances, clothing, WQS, continuing education, police, fire, health department training and seminars, as well as shift differentials, court time, field officer training, and also wellness seminars and initiatives as well. I'm sure there's several others. But a key part, when we look at all these things and all the amount of hard work that all of us put in, we have to keep our leadership towards, and everything we do, we want to bring everything to the middle of everything and try to balance out and do for everybody. But with that, we do a unity of purpose in everything that we do. And in public service, I've learned one thing: you can't change people's hearts just by simply passing new laws. It doesn't work. So progress takes time. It's a slow walking issue, which we've witnessed that. And throughout the 3 readings process, the 6 council meetings, the 4 special finance committee meetings, and of course, all the debate that accompanies all that comes into play. But again, with that, we must remain committed on moving forward instead of walking backwards. So that's where we're coming at this evening here. Decision-making in government is not about all winners and losers. It's about reaching a conclusion that reflects this unity of purpose for the entire community. It should be, we should leave here with a win-win on everything that we do on both sides. So we must ask ourselves, what practical purpose does a yes vote on Resolution 5526 serve the citizens of Alliance? And how does it affect the rights of our management staff to assemble as a collective bargaining unit? A yes vote will not improve service delivery, will not make our city safer, and will not create new jobs or improve employee morale. But it will disrupt the unity of purpose that we're trying to do across all of our collective bargaining units. So the decisions that we make and the legislative branch that we all work in with a unified purpose at the end of in all the decisions that we make. Those benefits, they must benefit the citizens of Alliance and of course our loyal and hardworking city employees as well. So tonight it's coming to a final decision. So it's been a prolonged, unnecessary dispute. We got to bring it to an end. I'm asking to reject Resolution 5526. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Safety Service Director Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. President, council members. In addition to the departmental work summaries that I sent to you yesterday, we had the Carnation Festival events are all completed, and I'm happy to say that we believe it was a big success. Thank you to all of our city employees who worked at the events, the tireless preparation and the cleanup afterwards. Everything went really well. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. The Water Distribution Department successfully completed the annual hydrant flush, and it tests all the city's entire water system. The vast network of underground piping and hydrants were not only checked but also serviced. Our apologies for any disruption in the water pressure and/or other inconveniences this event may have caused. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Tonight's vote on Resolution 5526, if passed, will abolish one of the city's existing unions. The council members of the City of Alliance have a tremendous amount of power and authority to help govern our community. With this power and authority comes great responsibility for making decisions that impact the city, its employees, and the health and well-being of all of our citizens. The Federation of United Employees Union represents 14 employees, both women and men, who work hard and provide leadership to keep our city open and operating. Tonight, this union is at risk of being abolished. Some council members believe that this union should be removed from existence, that it should be broken apart and abolished. I believe that the citizens of Alliance would prefer you honor and respect hard work and dedication by supporting our employees, not by abolishing them and selling them short. I encourage all council members to vote no on Resolution 5526. Any questions?
Member Ruggiero.
Councilwoman Kiko and myself got emails, probably yesterday that came in, I think, about flock cameras. Are you aware of what those are, and do we have them here in Alliance? And
I would defer to Chief X if we have not talked about flock cameras. Yes, I know what they are. They're on the national news. They're on state news. Should they be here in Alliance? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure Chief X and I would have a good conversation about it. Not only is it the cost of additional technology, it's the keeping them operational. Then at some point, what do you do with all the information? It's a very timely question. It's a good question.
Okay, can I just ask the question?
Member Kiko.
So the flock cameras, there was one in particular that this gentleman was talking about, is at Lowe's. Those are not property of the city, that's a property of Lowe's, that's a private business camera, or do you know, Chief X, do you know?
That is not a flock camera,
That's one of theirs.
It is common for area businesses to have
Right.
outdoor cameras, as long as it's within their property lines, ownership. Yeah, it's not uncommon.
And the city doesn't have any currently, any flock cameras that we've installed by the city?
Not that I'm aware of, not in the last 4 months. I know that for sure.
Okay,
There are a lot, and this may not be equal comparison to your Ring doorbell camera. You can see a lot with it, but at some point, you have to look at it, you have to monitor it. There's a responsibility for monitoring them if you do have them.
thank you.
Well, in the absence of Law Director Salwa, we do have one of the Assistant Law Directors or Prosecutors, Mr. Fink.
You'll appreciate this. There's no report from the law department.
Any questions of him now? Hearing none. Mr. Knowles.
Hey, hopefully people can hear me tonight. Appreciate the microphone, I think it's a good idea. Under your reports, communications is number 1 and number 3, those were generated by me. The very first one is, they're calling general fund balance, and this is something you guys get every month. We just recently finished July, so the balance as the end of July 31st is 5.1 million, so it's really close to where we began at the beginning of the year, so more or less just say we're holding steady. Expenses are up a little bit, revenues are down compared to last year, but we're still hanging in there. A lot of the wage increases that are being talked about, and most of the ones that aren't being talked about, will hit eventually this year and go back to 1/1/26. So when we get those processed, then we'll have a better idea on where we really stand for the month once we find out some of the settlements that are pending with the police. The next 2 pages are the general fund, again, in more detail. It just shows the department expenses by month and where we stand compared to the end of July, which we would normally think things would be about 58% if it fell in line or right beneath that, so that's good. And then the next page is the revenue by code, same thing, 58% if you were going by just the month, and we're slightly ahead of that, so that's good. The rest of the last 3 pages are all our funds, the entire city. I think there's 108 funds, and we don't go through all of them very often because a lot of them are basically dormant, and a lot of them are pretty minor compared to the other funds we talk about. So that concludes that piece, and then I'll go into the other report, which is called sewer fund balances, and this is looking at funds 510 and 512. Been bringing it up a little bit more lately just because some of the numbers that we've seen over the last couple months, or since the beginning of the year at least. 510 is the operating fund for the sewer fund. That's where all the revenue goes into from the users. That's where we pay for our employees. 512 is called sewer surplus reserve. It essentially is a capital fund. In itself, it doesn't really have revenue except for interest earnings. And then sometimes we transfer money from operating into the capital fund to pay for capital. But we don't need to do that right now. You guys know that the beginning balance this year was $5.2 million. So we're going to just spend that money towards capital on things that have been budgeted. So, but in the beginning balances for the total for both funds was $6.9 million. And we talked about this before, but 4.9 of that was one-time money. And it was an NFA loan, ARPA, and an OPWC grant. Costs have gone up this year. I want to point out that nobody's doing anything wrong. It's just a matter of how things are turned out with inflation and a few other things. We booked a really big capital project a few years ago, almost $12 million for the NFA project, and we borrowed about $8.6 million for that, so we're paying that back. And that really kicked in last year and then this year also, and it will continue through 2038 and 2044 for 2 of those loans that we have. So the debt service that we used to pay was around $230,000 a year. Now it's up to over $800,000. So that's kind of what you're seeing. The bottom of that first page is just the revenue year to date, and it shows you where we're at compared to budget. Again, 58% is where you want to be. We're right at 57%, so we're really close to being on target for what we projected this year. The expenses are within budget too. I guess the thing we want to point out is that we've seen the funds decline by $1.3 million so far this year. So we're going to take a look at those in more detail. We've already been working on that some. I've talked to Josh quite a bit about the revenue side. And I'm still trying to learn a few things, but we'll come through with a meeting and talk about some projections to see how we think we're going to do going forward. But this is just kind of tells you where we stand currently. And I think that was it as far as reports.
Any questions of the auditor? Mr. Mastriani?
The loans you were talking about, were we paying like interest only on those?
No,
Okay, so
they're low interest though. The OWDA one I think is like 0.49%. So we could have spent more money, more cash, but it did make sense to borrow. So we've had loans for that. And, I have the amortization schedules in my office, but yeah, we're going to continue to pay on those over the years. But it was the right move, you know. So for now, we'll spend some cash, but we didn't. But we're earning much more interest on things than we would otherwise. So it made sense to do that.
Any other questions of the auditor? All right.
Thank you.
Standing committee reports, streets and alleys, Mr. Figueroa. Yes, if you would, please.
First, welcome our new president, welcome aboard, or welcome back. I have no formal report other than we will be having the Streets and Alleys meeting on Wednesday, August 26th at 8 a.m., second floor conference room, to discuss this past year's paving program and the upcoming paving program for 2027. Thank you.
Properties and lands is Mrs. Cherry. Anybody have anything on her behalf? Okay. Utilities, Mr. Edwards.
Welcome. No formal report, but I, just touching on what Kevin said. I'm vertically challenged, so thanks for the info on that. And when we were setting rates and when the Water Sewer Advisory Board was meeting, we knew that the fund would deplete some, just like you said, we had the one-time income from the COVID. And then but in addition to that, we had the increased supply costs since COVID too, so we knew that was gonna happen. But, in the meeting, that's good. I'd like to be involved with that also, so we could get down, through each fund line by line to see exactly where all this is coming from. And then I think we want to do a water sewer advisory board meeting after we got that cleared up, so that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Safety and Judiciary, Ms. Kiko.
No formal report tonight, but we will be having a Safety and Judiciary Committee meeting. I'm working with Councilwoman Cindy King and Councilman Ed Lonis to get that scheduled. We will be going over the EMS transport feasibility study with the fire department, and then there have been a couple other items that need to be covered in that meeting. So be aware and look out for that notice. Thank you
Thank you.
and welcome.
Thank you. Community Development, Ms. King.
No formal report, ma'am.
Finance, Mr. Lonis.
Thank you, Madam President. The microphones work here. So.
If you would,
Okay,
please.
you still want to off the front? All right, thank you. In regards to Resolution 5526.
Mr. Lonis.
Yes.
If you want to speak about a matter that's on the agenda, then at that point, there's a discussion section. You're more than welcome to say whatever you'd like, but this is just committee reports.
Okay. At this time, I have no formal report for Finance Committee. Thank you.
Planning, Zoning, and Housing, Mr. Mastriani.
Thank you, welcome. For the data center meeting, I appreciate everybody that responded. Cindy, I'm sorry you didn't get your email. It's like herding cats, getting everybody together. I thought maybe after the conclusion of tonight's meeting, we could all get our calendars out and finalize a date. And then once we do, we'll let the public know. But it's been a little more difficult getting all the calendars to line up for everybody, because I want to make sure all council members are included on this, so I don't want to leave anybody out. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Public speaks. Section 13.01 of the Rules of Alliance City Council requires anyone who wishes to speak during the public comment portion of the meeting must sign in before the starting time of the meeting. Those signing up to speak will be allowed 3 minutes to speak. There will not be debate between speakers or members of council. No profane, obscene, insulting, disrespectful, or disruptive speech shall be permitted. First person signed in is Mr. Dreger. Thank you, Ms. Chico. Since I'm also the clerk, please bear with me and speak into the microphone and give your name and address.
Well, I'll do my best. Mike Drager, 1125 Oakwood Drive, Alliance. Okay.
I'm starting.
Members of council, tonight you will be voting on Resolution 5526. If adopted, it would remove council recognition of a bargaining unit made up of department heads. I think one thing that should be asked and answered beforehand is, why is there a bargaining unit of department heads? The very short answer is because 20 years ago, Mayor Middleton asked the group to form. Why did he ask this? That's a little bit more complicated. Alliance has had a long history and priority to treat all its employees equitably. But since the inception of CERB, this has become a very complex thing to do, as you are finding out this year. There are some units which are provided binding arbitration and others which are not. As a result, we have a system where the city at times is forced to provide increases to some employees that it cannot afford to provide to all of its employees. And so, periodically, some units get ahead of others. When the 4 new units were formed, Mayor Middleton and a majority of the city's employees believed, true or not, that there were some on council who believed that some of the city's employees were more important than others and that equal treatment was not important. Since the unions were formed, there have been multiple times when awards have been given through fact-finding conciliation, and one unit has moved ahead of the others, and the city was then able over time to restore parity. That process has and will continue to repeat itself for as long as this system is in place. The city's employees have largely accepted this reality for two reasons. One is that because subsequent mayors and councils have remained committed to making their best efforts to achieve parity. And secondly, because most employees are represented and consequently informed about those efforts. So now you will vote to take away one group's representation. Why? Well, Mr. Lonis at the last council meeting gave his reason. Quote, "We are now several months into a deadlocked employee contract dispute that should have been resolved long ago. This resolution is not a vindictive action. It is a necessary legislative tool to break gridlock, protect funds, and restore fairness to our city's bargaining process." We're 7 months into a deadlock specifically because of this resolution. On May 1st, in a Finance Committee meeting, Mr. Lonis announced that he would be looking to introduce legislation to withdraw recognition at the FUE unit. Subsequently, Mr. Lonis has made it known that this legislation would be coming forward, and finally tonight it would be acted on. That action put a hold on any possible efforts to break any gridlock. With all due respect, in essence, what we are being told is that this legislation is needed to break the gridlock that it created. And the idea that it is not vindictive, let me recount these facts. In the May 1st meeting, the auditor said that the CBAs brought forward this year represent the most generous contracts of the last 30 years. Various members of the FUE unit then brought up to Mr. Lonis that perhaps the auditor had forgotten the 37% and 48% increases that were given to his employees in 2013, and the 46% increase that he had received in 2024. They also reminded the councilman that he had supported his own raise of more than 100% in 2024. Shortly after this exchange, Mr. Lonis first announced his intention to have recognition withdrawn at the FUE unit, and I don't think anyone is buying the lack of connection. Thank you, Mr. President.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson, 2115 South Seneca. I wanted to tell you guys, first of all, we're having a workshop. It is to help people learn how to run for office. It is nonpartisan. We're not going to talk about policies. We're not going to talk about anything controversial. We're going to talk about how you run for office and what each office does, because I think a lot of people don't know. And we're trying to increase engagement with our citizens. I think this is one way that I can help with that. So I have some flyers. If you're interested, what I'm looking for are panel members of people who have run successfully, unsuccessfully, doesn't matter. I want people there who can share their experiences. So there's a flyer if you guys are interested. Yeah. It's got my email and address on it, so you can reach out to me if you're interested. I'd love to have everyone be there. I think your experiences are wide and varied. And then the other thing I just wanted to talk about real quick is you guys are on a third reading tonight for something about the parks and moving their retirements out of the park fund into the general fund. And it's on its third reading. There's been almost no discussion about it. So I would like to ask you all to have a discussion tonight to discuss why we passed a levy that was supposed to make the park completely self-sufficient. And they do a great job, and this is nothing against the parks, but we passed a levy. The city overwhelmingly supported the levy. They were given a budget, and if there's a problem with that budget, I think it should be discussed before we commit funds from the general fund to the Parks Department. Thank you.
Mr. Dunbar.
Madam President, members of council, my name is Alex Zumbar, 1010 Sunset Drive, Alliance, Ohio. I'm also your county treasurer. I have some documents here for you this evening for all council members. Those are about the Stark County Land Bank. The Land Bank, as you know, was created back in 2012, and the city has taken advantage of many of these programs that the Land Bank offers. That packet of information that you have or you're about to receive here, you give one to each. Yeah. The packet explains what the land bank is. It also explains each of the programs that are included with the land bank and what we can offer. Specifically, side lot program, vacant lot program, demolition assistance program. We also have rehabilitation, remediation program, and a new program has been added, which is rehabbing homes. I know the city has explored that, and I do believe is taking advantage of that program as well. Primarily, it's the demolition assistance program that I want to focus on tonight. Primarily, the demolition assistance program is a 50-50 split. Demolition assistance program can assist you folks in taking down blighted, vacant, abandoned housing structures here in the city that are residential in nature, commercial in nature, industrial in nature as well, but primarily residential. Certainly want to see you folks take advantage of that. Many communities use it. It is a 50-50 split though. So again, welcome, Madam President, members of council, and of course, Director Lewis, welcome. Just want to make you folks aware of these programs and kindly reach out, explore the opportunities, and maybe this can help you in some areas of the budget. Stretching the dollars is certainly what we try to do, try to help. Happy to answer any questions. If not, there's a phone number on the front of each packet. Please give Sarah a call, and she can assist.
Thank you.
John Municipal? Give your name and address, sir.
I'm John Brazil. I live at 16191 River Street, Lexington Township. I just came to talk about the flock cameras. I do have some other notes that I'd like to share with council about the data center. But flock cameras, I've already seen, now maybe I'm wrong, but there's 3 at least on the viaduct. There's 3 at least on Sawberg, Main Street, okay? So my question is, number 1, why are they where they are? But let's just cut to the chase and get to the cost, $2,500 to $3,000 per camera with a one-time installation fee of $250 to $350. That is a contract that will be paid every year. That amount of money will be paid by the city every year. Also, there's alternative hardware that you can get for these things so they can spy on you even better. That can cost from $3,000 to $65,000 per year, you know, if you want them to really be able to creep around on you. A city could pay, if we were to go citywide with these cameras, we could pay $75,000 to $200,000 per year. Salutations from Xi Jinping in the CCP, by the way, because that's where we're headed. So I was wondering if I could be compensated for having to go around this viaduct every time I go to work, because I go over it every day, and that's how I go home too. And now I got to cut around because I don't want them taking pictures of my car. I don't want to be on their stupid cameras. And every time I go by that camera, I give the 3-finger salute, read between the lines. You'll get it. So yeah, I'm completely against this. And pave Milner, please, pave Milner. Okay, we've got the kids walking home from school every day. 50, 100, probably hundreds of kids walk up that street. It's a one-way street. It's torn to shreds. There's rocks and there's a hole in it so deep you can see China. Okay, so let's just spend our money doing stuff like that. We've got brand new sidewalks in there now. So let's make a road to match it and help our kids out and those poor people that live down there. It's not the greatest area. And that's all I gotta say about the flocks. I'm completely against it. How much time do I have?
You have about 35 seconds.
35 seconds. I do have a page full of notes on what we should probably think about in case we do get invaded by the oligarchical data center people. So there's things on here like a full geological survey of aquifers, the water supply paid for by the company, no NDAs, toxicology and treatment report of on-site toxins with detailed plans for safe removal, logistics, when and where and how many, full disclosure of size. We want power, water usage, noise levels, light measurements, types of backup. And remember, I got one of these great quotes here for y'all.
You can wrap it up, please, sir.
Okay, so those who give up their essential liberties to purchase a little bit of safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Benjamin Franklin, peace.
Alright. Council, anyone have any reading from the rules here? Any questions in response? Member King.
Yes, the viaduct. The cameras are there because of vandalism. Did you know that?
So those are not license plate detectors, those are actual camera.
Well,
We're not going to engage in debate.
No, that's okay.
the cameras are there for vandalism. And I don't know if you ever noticed, we used to always decorate that, viaduct for the MLK parade. The last time we decorated, a carload of Caucasians came through and sprayed us with a super soaker toy. I don't know what was in it. And we never did it again. Cameras are needed. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Now we move to third, I'm sorry, you had to sign up before 6 p.m. sir.
never been to a meeting before, I thought maybe I could speak because I didn't think I had to do that.
I'm sorry, our rules require you have to be signed up ahead of time. Third readings. Right. Ordinance 57-26, introduced by Mastriani, an ordinance reestablishing wages for a part-time certified residential electrical inspector and declaring an emergency. Mr. Mastriani.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for the adoption of ordinance 5726.
Is there a second? Mr. Edwards. Alright. One thing I want to clarify as a matter of course is I had a conversation with the mayor and safety service director and the law director on the phone about the use of emergency language. And I think perhaps the overuse. I'm not going to try and suggest amendments to matters that are already on third reading, but I do think this council needs to reevaluate the use of emergency language for appropriate measures. So bearing that in mind, I'm not asking you to amend anything at this point, but with the motion to adopt and the second by Mr. Edwards, I'm going to go ahead and call the roll. Bugera.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
Kiko.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Lotus.
Yes.
Mastroni.
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. Ordinance 58-26, introduced by Bugera, an ordinance requiring that accumulated leave payouts, severance payments, and other separation-related compensation due to employees of the Alliance Department of Parks, Recreation, and Public Lands upon retirement or separation from service shall be paid from the city general fund, providing that the Park Levy Fund, Fund 271, shall not be charged for such payments. Member Bugera.
You want me to introduce it first, or do you want me to speak on it first?
If you would make a motion, if you want to adopt it or set it aside or whatever.
No, I would move to adopt ordinance 5826.
Motion to adopt by Bugera. Is there a second? Member Mastriani?
Are we allowed to discuss it now?
Yes.
So this was discussed at the July 20th meeting by the auditor. The Parks Department, they operate on a razor-thin budget. It covers basically their operating costs, so anytime they were to get a retirement, it would spill over into the general fund anyways. So this is something we're doing to take it away from their razor-thin budget and put it into the general fund. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Mr. Knoll?
Yeah, the Parks Department, they'll operate within whatever constraints they have. If you know anything about Kim,
Would you mind coming to the
I'm sorry,
podium?
yeah.
You're the farthest that
Yeah, that's okay.
anybody
Yeah,
from
sorry.
mine,
Good
so.
point. Yeah, if we know anything about the parks and Kim, she'll operate with whatever constraints we give her. So they run probably the tightest budget in the city. They're forced to operate within the tightest constraints of any fund in the city. Chris said the park levy, when it was passed, I think in 2018, back then, it's a flat revenue. I don't think that was really contemplated at the time, but their revenue doesn't go up over the course of every year. But of course, wages do, gas does, all those things, and yet they still stay within their means. So this is just being done to help whenever there's a possible retirement in the future. And in a fund that carries over like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, somebody could retire and have a $50,000 payout. Well, we have to pay it contractually by law, so how are we going to afford that? We're going to transfer money from the general fund in there anyways. This just does that effect essentially anyways, but there's a huge difference in a $15,000 fund and a $5 million general fund. There's plenty of money to make retirement payouts. And if you go back to the beginning of when we got into financial trouble, all the things that were done in the recovery plan, the park levy was probably the single biggest reason why we are not in fiscal still, because of all the work that they've done to help pass levies and let the public know the things that we're doing for the good of the community. So, if we don't want to support our parks, I don't know what to tell you guys.
Mr. Mastriani?
I'll just add on to that. I think when the levy was written, it didn't account for increases in property taxes. So it's essentially froze it whenever it was first adopted. So
Correct.
obviously costs have gone up, property taxes have also gone up, but we aren't seeing that makeup.
100%.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Thank you.
If you're ready to vote? Bulgara?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Kiko?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Lonis?
Yes.
Mastriani?
Yes.
Second readings? There are none. We go to new business, ordinance number 62-26, introduced by Edwards, an ordinance amending ordinance number 48-26 and authorizing and directing the Director of Public Safety and Service to enter into contracts for the purpose of purchasing a new 2026 Ford F-350 truck and necessary components for the street department using cooperative purchasing programs if possible, and to advertise for bids if necessary, but for a cost not to exceed $53,000 in any case, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Edwards?
I move for the suspension of rules requiring 3 readings for ordinance 62-26.
Is there a second? Member Kiko? On the motion to suspend the rule requiring 3 readings, Bulgara?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Kiko?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Lonis?
Yes.
Mastriani?
Yes.
Member Edwards?
I move for the adoption of ordinance 62-26.
Is there a second? Second by Kiko. Bulgara?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Kiko?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Lonis?
Yes.
Mastriani?
Yes.
(62-26) passes. Ordinance number 63-26, introduced by Kiko, an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Safety and Service to advertise for bids and enter into contracts for the purchase of various supplies for the year 2027. Member Kiko?
I make a motion to suspend the rules for 3 readings for ordinance 6326.
Is there a second? Second by Edwards. On the roll, Bulgara?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Kiko?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Lonis?
Yes.
Mastriani?
Yes.
Rules requiring 3 readings are suspended. Member Kiko?
I just have a question. On the agenda, it says introduced by council as a whole. Does that matter?
My order of business says Kiko.
I have council as a whole. in mind.
So do I.
I don't know when my order of business will be different this fall.
If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter to me.
We had a conversation in the administrative offices when I was going over the agenda with the clerk about the assignment of ordinances. And according to council rules, the clerk, I believe, is supposed to assign it to the council member who most closely aligns with it. When we spoke about it, though, I actually suggested to her that something that's quite as broad as 6326, that's purchasing for all kinds of things, probably should be council as a whole. So maybe she changed that and it just didn't get to my order of business.
Oh, that could be.
So I didn't mean to call you out.
No, that's okay.
by,
I just don't want to.
throwing that to you. My order of business still said Kiko.
I just don't want to compromise if something happens down the road.
Well, since your ordinance says council as a whole, and this one does as well, then does anyone want to make a motion to adopt
I will.
63? Motion by member Kiko. Second? Second by Bulgara. Any discussion? All right, call Call the roll. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Pico?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Lonis?
Yes.
Mastriani?
Yes.
I got him, guys. I don't like doing both jobs, you guys. All right, 6326 is adopted. Ordinance number 64-26, introduced by Mastriani, an ordinance authorizing and directing the transfer of non-productive real estate not needed for any municipal purpose from the City of Alliance to the City of Alliance Land Reutilization Program. Mr. Mastriani.
No action.
That takes us to old business. Resolution number 5526, introduced by council as a whole, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Alliance, Ohio, declaring that the collective bargaining agreement with the Federation of United Employees, FUE, unit has expired, rejecting the proposed successor agreement, withdrawing voluntary recognition of said bargaining unit, and authorizing the mayor and law director to provide notice thereof. What's your pleasure? Mr. Lonis.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 5526.
Motion to adopt, is there a second? Member Rivera? Discussion. Mr. Lonis.
Thank you, Madam President. In regards to Resolution 5526, at last council meeting, I did provide all members with my statement and then with the statistics that explained my position. I stand by those still today, and I do ask for support on passage of Resolution 5526. Thank you, Madam President.
Any other discussion? Mr. Edwards.
I'll put my 2 cents in. This resolution, I think, has more to do with some personal disagreements and grudges between city officials, employees, and costs. The statement that Councilman Lonis made in his letter, implying that those 3 employees are holding the others almost hostage and preventing them from receiving their raises is, I'd say it's like union busting at the worst. And the morale among those employees must be very low. We already lost 2 employees from that group, and I would not blame others for looking. It's not a good look for the city, trying to bring in business or attracting qualified job applicants. At the beginning of this council term last January, our friend Art Garbs asked council members what the most pressing issue for the city was, and I believe we all said affordable housing. I don't believe much time has been spent trying to help that situation. Council persons don't negotiate contracts, the administration does. Council reviews them, votes yes or no, but with just cause. Not agreeing with persons that are in that unit is not just cause, nor is doing away with the bargaining unit to make it easier for possible future administration to fire employees without representation. And I believe that's why we have so many unions to bargain with now. Spectacle progressing during the last meetings is using our employees as pawns in a political battle. It's not fair to them or the citizens of our city. Contracts were negotiated in good faith by both sides, and I believe are fair to the employees in the city. And I urge council to defeat Resolution 5526 and move on to conducting the other business in the city, which our employees and citizens expect and deserve.
Any other discussion? Mr. Mastriani.
Eric, not to put you on the spot, but do you know if there's any legal, could we be putting ourselves in legal issues as a council, you know, if this is adopted, or I don't know if you've even had time to look or thought about that. I know the law director's not here, so.
You're right, I have not had a chance to sit down and study this issue. I know that Law Director Sella has looked at this issue. I don't want to certainly disagree with anything that he has said about this issue. But generally speaking, there's a process for not recognizing union. You can't do it just overnight. You have been taking your time going through that, so I imagine the process has been properly followed, but I can't tell you for certain about that.
Okay.
I wish I could give you a better answer than that.
Yeah, no, that's okay, thank you.
Mr. Lonis.
Thank you, Madam President. Just for clarification, it's Section 3 of the contract that I read at Finance Committee, and it's the section that applies to the question that Member Mastriani mentioned. So it's in Ordinance 2626, Article 1, Section 3, page 1. Wayne, I also remind members that the FUE is not recognized by CERB. It's just simply not. So it doesn't apply to CERB protections. Invoking Section 3 is where I got the information to propose tonight's resolution.
Any other
Just for
discussion?
clarity.
Mr. Rivera?
Just a question to the administration. Has there,
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Can we pull the microphone back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is over just to help with hearing everybody.
has there been any, since this was rejected, has there been any movement from you guys to bring back another offer to council for a contract? We haven't seen anything, so I'm just curious, is there anything behind the scenes that we don't know about that you're working on, or any, because the whole point of this is to get our employees paid at the end of the day. They need their raises, they deserve their raises, but if nothing's happening, then that's the point of this, is so we can move forward with giving them the 633 that is the pattern.
What's happened after?
Mayor, would you mind coming to the podium?
During the process, I approached Dr. Lonis to say, let's be specific here. We've been going over this for many months now. What are the key items that's holding this up? And he gave the 3 items that he felt concerned about. And was it 4, Doug?
The amendment's correct.
But of course, it went to, we met with the FUE. Jen Merriman, their spokesman, took the information back, and of course, it was rejected, and I passed that on. And since that time, they've been waiting to see what council wants to do since that point.
Member Kiko?
What were the 4 points that was discussed?
I didn't bring them with me, but one of them was the WQS.
Well, let's stay on topic here, because this is a resolution about recognizing or not recognizing this union. This is not about the merits of the contract.
I can get those two.
Anything else from anybody else? All right. Call the roll on the motion to adopt Resolution 5526. Bugera?
Yes.
Edwards?
No.
Kiko?
Yes.
King?
No.
Lotus?
Yes.
Mastriani?
No.
That makes it a tie, and the president votes no. Resolution is defeated. Good of the order, roundtable topics. Member Bugera?
Just to the Parks Department, to the Carnation Board, great job. I know it's a crazy couple of weeks, and they did a wonderful job, and we're happy that they're with us.
Member Edwards?
Same, I think we had a great festival. Thanks for all the employees, thanks for the citizens, the board stepping up. Heard nothing but good comments from everybody.
Member Kiko?
Same thing, but I want to specifically thank the police department and the fire department keeping us safe during that time and all the hard work that you put in, because I know it was a lot of hours. And again, to Kim and to the Carnation Festival Committee, great job. All the events that I attended were very organized and very well attended, so nice job.
Member King?
Kudos to a great Carnation Festival. I wish it ran on Sunday. I sure missed that park food. Also, the MLK Parade step-off is at noon on the 22nd, 12 o'clock noon. Thank you. Come to the park, you'll have a good time.
Member Lotus?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to congratulate the Carnation Festival Board as well for a great week. Also, just a reminder, Lion City Schools will be opening up on Wednesday, I believe. It's the first day of class. So, oh, is it tomorrow? Some tomorrow. So just be aware of the students being out there in the morning. It's always a good point to just be ready for the school buses as well. Let's see what else. Oh, also, Ward 3 residents are going to be very happy that Ridgewood got paved today, so I'm sure they're excited about that. And I want to officially welcome President Jack Means to council and congratulate her on her victory on last Monday the 10th. Okay, thank you.
Member Mastroni.
Kudos again to the Carnation Festival Board, they did a great job, and good luck to all the students going back to school. Thank you.
There is no executive session that is requested, so I believe a motion to adjourn is in order. Member King, second by Kiko. Call the roll on this too, right? Bugera.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
Kiko.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Lois.
Yes.
Mastriani.
Yes.
We are adjourned at 6:55.